Good evening, newbies, and welcome to Nonprofits Empowering Worlds podcast. Today, we are joined by founder Lindsey Hoye. She is the founder of Beautifully Owned by Us, and she is beautiful herself. This is an organization that is dedicated to providing resources and support to other businesses that are focused on health, beauty, and also wellness. I am your host, Bridget Scarborough. I am a nonprofit strategist, and I am also part of the Female Solution Network. We are a network of podcasters that provides programming 7 days out of the week. Now I'm going to give you a word from the Female Solution.
Women have the power to transform this world. We can end crime and violence if we all agree to do one thing: share. Let's share our wisdom, share our time, share our talents, share our finances, but most of all, let's share our love. This is the Female Solution.
Leaders of Nonprofits Empowering Worlds. Let's go.
But the vision that God gave me, I felt that it was time for me to step out and work on the vision that God gave me.
We need look no further. We have a unique voice. We have a unique talent pool.
Let's bring Lindsey to the stage.
Hello.
Hi, Lindsey. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
So everyone, there's a little bit of a delay. We figured out right before the show. So just be patient with us. And, we have to work through these technical difficulties, but we're going to make it happen.
The beauty of being live.
So Lindsey is joining us all the way from, absolutely. Lindsey is joining us from Fort Worth, Texas. One of my Texas folks in the house. What's the weather like down there?
It's actually pretty pleasant. You know how Texas is. We go from being cold to hot to cold again. But right now we're in the 60s. So it's pretty nice.
Oh, okay. Nice. So Beautifully Owned by Us. That's the name of your nonprofit. But before we get into you as the founder, can you tell us a little bit about who you are and your title?
Yes. So I'm originally from Jackson, Mississippi. I currently live in Fort Worth, Texas. I'm a mother of 3 young men. I'm also a BB of a beautiful 5-year-old girl. I'm an educator. I'm an author. And I'm a nonprofit profit founder. In my household, we grew up in a close-knit family. And because of that, that showed me how powerful it is to have a strong community. I also have 15 years of education. My mom, she was also an educator for over 30 years. So education was preached in my household. So education is very important to me.
So I find that there's usually a common thread between educators and nonprofits. A lot of my clients, majority of my clients, either come from an education background, or they come from a health background, or they are authors.
Exactly. I believe with educators, we are naturally, we want to help people. So I find that very, I can understand why most educators are
Yeah.
nonprofit founders.
So I don't think I heard the last thing that you said. You said you found it very.
No, I understand why educators become nonprofit founders, because we have that natural ability that we want to help people. So it makes sense.
Okay. So what made you want to start helping businesses that are in the health industry as well as the wellness industry and the beauty industry? What was it about that made you decide that you wanted to provide support in that area? Tell us a little bit about Beautifully Owned by Us. What is that? What does it mean? What sparked that inspiration?
Okay, so I have a really a great story about that. It actually started from a conversation with a friend. It was during 2020, during COVID. We were all locked in, locked up in our houses. And we found that a lot of businesses were having to close down due to simple fact that, no one could come out, or they may have been open, but we didn't know. So my friend and I, we were thinking like it should be a community where business owners can come to and let people know that they are there. So that's how it started. So I created a Facebook group where business owners and customers, they basically come together and meet. It was also a networking community. It went from something very simple to something really big. It grew so quickly. We went from having no members to about 3,000 members within a month. So it was definitely a need there. Then eventually we became a full nonprofit, and we have 3 other ladies that sit on the board. Also, that friend that I had the conversation with, she also sits on the board.
So why this particular industry? Was there something about the health, wellness, beauty industry that made you feel like there was a need there?
Yes. So there were already communities that you can, especially in our area, the DFW area, it was a lot of Facebook groups that had Black-owned restaurants. They had like other groups, but it really wasn't any place to go where I could find maybe like a hairstylist or a nail tech or a spa or something like that. So it was needed because those particular industries weren't getting any visibility. And also I had several friends that were also in those industries, and just, having conversations with them, and I wanted to help. And it was really good.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. I know there's a delay. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, I'm trying to get used to it, but I think it's okay. But I actually found several people, like the lady that does my hair and things. Now I met her through my Facebook group, and now she sits on the board as well. So I met some great people. So it was a great space to network.
You met me on Facebook too.
Right. So I mean, a lot of people say a lot of things about social media, but I mean, that's the way that we meet people now. So I mean, you have to use it for what it is.
Yeah, and we had a great conversation the first time we talked. And we even talked about a few things that we might want to do in the future when I move back to Texas, right?
Right.
So I'm going to hold you to that.
Forward to it.
Now, one of the things you mentioned something about not knowing where to get like your nails done, your hair done. One thing that I'm experiencing here in Chicago and in the Chicago area is that I don't see any Black nail technicians anymore. I do remember back in the day, I don't think we ever dominated that particular industry, but we did have a presence. And now I don't see it at all. So are you experiencing the same thing in the Fort Worth, Texas area? Or, are we more prevalent? Do we have more of a presence there in the beauty industry?
Well, of course, in the beauty industry, but not as far as nail tech. So it's very rare that I can find a Black nail tech. And also with the Facebook group, we actually created a directory where people can list their businesses with their contact information. So we had a few Black nail techs that got on that directory, and it was not just Fort Worth. We had people all over the country that would put their information on it was just a simple spreadsheet. But that's an industry we really do need to get into.
Now, how did you make information available to the public, and is it still available?
It's still available. Now, that particular information is in my Facebook group, on the Beautifully Owned by Us Facebook group. It's still there, and it's still active. So you can just go. I may have to pin it because, like I said, it's been years ago since we first started it, but it's there.
Now, you are also providing resources to businesses as well, helping them to find grants to fund their business at some point. Is that something that you're still doing?
Yes, that's something that I'm still doing. As of right now, we do not have any grants available, but I do, when someone reach out, we do point them in the right direction, and we do try to help them. Because as you know, funding is hard to come by.
And this is something that initially you were kind of taking this on yourself, because we talked about that in our conversation as well, right?
Right.
That this is a goal of yours, that you want to create partnerships so that you can provide easier access to funding sources.
Exactly.
That's exactly one of the directions that you want to go with your nonprofit.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And also we're looking for mentors as well. So with the funding, mentors, like if you go back to the nail tech, having more Black nail techs, if we have mentors to show people, hey, you can make a living doing this. This is not just for one particular group of people. Because that's definitely an industry that we're missing out on.
So what are some of the things that you're most proud of so far with your organization as a founder? It's been how long have you actually been a nonprofit? I know you started the networking when you were during COVID, and then later you started nonprofit. How long have you been a nonprofit?
For about a year now, a little bit over a year. We received our nonprofit status in October.
What are some of the accomplishments that you have had since you've started this nonprofit? What are some of the things that you're most proud of? And this could be direct service, or it can be something internal, how you built a nonprofit. What are some that you want to boast about?
Well, a couple of things. Just seeing a vision actually grow into a real foundation or real nonprofit. Also, last year we had an event. It was called The Next Chapter. It was extremely successful. We were really maybe about only 6 months as an official nonprofit. People actually showed up. We had guest speakers. A lot of the guests, I felt like, and they also told me that they really got some great information from our event. So that was, it was great for me that something, like I said, just started as a conversation or a dream, that I actually see it manifest like that. Hello. I think we disconnected.
Was this an in-person event or was it virtual?
Oh no, this was in person.
Okay.
Yeah, I rented an area in a library, and we came out. We brought information, educational information. I had speakers in different fields. I had a therapist. I had a guy who owned his own gym. So they were basically just, telling the guests how they got into the business, some things, that would help them out if they were interested. So it was great. And then people were able to network. I made some good connections myself, and I know a lot of people did as well.
Awesome. It sounds like a great event. And you have an event coming up soon as well this weekend, correct?
Yes, I have a virtual networking event. So it's like a networking mixer. It's going to be Sunday, February 15th. We are doing a Valentine's theme, but it's completely networking. It's nothing that's really has anything to do with Valentine's, but it's just a Valentine's theme. But I think it's going to be great. We have some events planned during the virtual event. We also have a couple of speakers. We have some games. There's going to be some prizes given out. So if anyone watching, if you want to network, like I said, it's virtual, so you don't even have to leave your house.
Well, I'll definitely be there because there's an event happening here that I'm going to during the day, and yours starts late enough that I can make both. So, newbies, the Soulful Chicago Book Fair, you all have heard me talk about this forever. That's happening this weekend in the Chicago area. And so I will be there, and then I'm going to come to your event when I get back home, because yours starts at what, 6:30?
6:30. Yes, it starts at 6:30.
Yours starts at 6:30. You went out for a minute.
Yes, I'm sorry. Yes, we start at 6:30. 6:30 Central.
Okay. So you're giving me something to do. I will definitely be there, although I'm not in the health, wellness, beauty field.
You are.
To take part in and experience that.
No, it's such a broad field. So you are at health and wellness. What you're doing is part of health and wellness. And then you're exposing people that are in this industry. So yeah, you fit right in. Matter of fact, you're a great resource with what you're doing. So you fit right in.
Okay. So I'm going to take a little bit of a commercial break, and hopefully we can maybe work through some of these technical difficulties. I do apologize, but one of the consequences of going live. Oh, actually, I think we have some comments. Let's see. Let's do the comments first. Let's see here. So King of the Slap TV channel 1628 says, this is good information. I have the guidance. All right. Well,
thank you.
Let me put up my information. If you're thinking about starting a nonprofit, you can schedule a free consultation with me. Go onto the website, and I give 3-minute virtual consultation. So you can just go to the website and set that up. Let's see what else we have here. So we have another comment from Cinnabella. Cinnabella is actually another podcaster with the Female Solution. She comes on tomorrow morning. So she's right after me, 7:00 a.m. on Friday mornings. You have Cinnabella. She says, wells run dry because of government funding problems, or is that also private funding? I don't know. Do you want to answer that, or would you like me to address that?
I mean, I can give an answer. You probably can add to it, but I think it's both. What I have noticed since having a nonprofit, I automatically thought once people found out what I was doing and the things I wanted to do for the community, I thought money was just going to come. But as you know, that's not the case. So yeah, I think funding is running dry on both ends.
Okay, I think you went out on us a little bit. I don't know if that's just on my end, but I want to address that. Yes, both government and private funding can run dry, but some people, for instance, right now, a lot of nonprofits are suffering because government funding was pulled back with this current administration. But the current administration can't affect private funding. So a lot of people can still apply, even though they've been affected by the government funding, can still apply for private funding. They can also apply for sponsorship or seek sponsorship opportunities. One of the things I always streams. So you don't always want to just depend on one funding source. So if you're lucky enough, blessed enough to get government funding, you don't want to just rely on that, because as we see, when politics shift and values shift and agendas shift, then the government funding sway one direction or the next. So you want to have ways of bringing in income through your fundraising efforts, through selling products, and then funding as well, and sponsorship for events. So for instance, like what you do, Lindsey, would lend itself more to sponsorship, approaching corporate so that they can, you can apply for a piece of their marketing budget, so that they can sponsor your event, and they in turn get brand recognition. So if your organization does a lot of events, sponsorship is really the way to go. And that's something that's not all the corporation is interested in, is them being able to get brand recognition. So there's not a lot of reporting that you have to do or anything like that. You just have to make sure that you have acknowledged them some type of way you've agreed upon. So yeah, diversification is the key when it comes to funding, and not relying on one source. So that's just something that funding comes and goes. Funders come and go. Funders change their areas of focus. So you definitely want to have string in several ways of being stuck in a situation. So hope that answers your question, Annabella. Let's see. I think we had another comment. Annabella also says, and do you think there are more fields for small businesses, and which ones are they?
I can answer that one. We have a growing generation of older people. So this would be more in the health field. So I know anything dealing with older people, like personal assistance services. That's a business where you can go and sit with the elderly, or help them do little light housekeeping and things like that. That's a great business. Anything dealing with education, especially with our current, administration, helping parents who are homeschoolers. So it's a lot to, education, health. A lot of people may not think about those areas.
to agree. And I will add, in terms of education, closing the achievement gap and providing support with literacy skills for particularly for African American students. So those are definitely opportunities for business as well as nonprofits. All right, so I'm going to take this opportunity to take us to a commercial break, and we'll
Peace and love. I'm Michelle Renee, host of Education Nation, live on the Female Solution Global Network every second and fourth Sunday from 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. The intention of Education Nation is to raise awareness about the literacy crisis and to offer information to combat the problem. The goal is to awaken an army of reading coaches and mentors. You will experience guests who are doing their part in the community to ensure youth in their circles are reading and thinking critically. I look forward to serving you in this capacity. Literacy is freedom, and Education Nation will offer information and strategies to help ensure our young people stay free.
Soulful Chicago Black History Book Fair.
Hey family, this is Charles Humphrey of MCH Publishing, and I'm here with Ashada, and we at the Soulful Chicago Book what?
This is the Soulful Chicago Black History Book Fair, slamming.
We getting down in Hyde Park. Just run it down, my sister. Just tell us, for the people, a little bit about what we're doing here today and why.
You know, this is the Soulful Chicago Black History Book Fair, and this month is very important. I feel like we don't give it the type of recognition that it needs, but beyond that, I do all things literary, and we have so many ancestors that have taken a tradition of writing and done great things. Well, we have those of us that are carrying on that tradition, and nobody knows about them until now. So the Soulful Chicago Black History Book Fair is allowing us to tell our stories according to ourselves for our own benefit. And it's just beautiful. I mean, you could have been here today if you wasn't here, but if you were, it's been amazing. People came in consistently, children, and we have children's authors, we have nonfiction authors, we have fiction authors. This is really good, and it's about taking our own power in our own hands and doing what we do on the literary tip, though.
Right.
I gotta work, but I can't help it. Everything going to school. Now I just about bring my African shit like this. Bring it back.
All right, welcome back, newbies. So that was a little taste of what you would find at the Soulful Chicago Black History Book Fair this weekend, February 15th. It will be at Little Black Pearl here in Chicago at 1060 East 47th Street. Again, that's 1060 East 47th Street. This Sunday, February 15th, from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. And then, of course, at 6:30, we know Lindsey's networking event.
Yes.
So we got a whole Sunday lineup. We have a whole Sunday lineup. Let me put you back in your rightful place over here, Lindsey. Let's see. Let me move you over. Everything is not working today. Why?
Okay.
I'm trying. So you also have a book club.
Yes, I have a book club. It's just the Beautifully
You want
Owned
to
by
tell us a
Us.
little bit about your book club?
Yes. So the book club was created, honestly, from a conversation with the same person that helped me create the idea about the Beautifully Owned by Us. We were just talking about how important, like I told you earlier, education is so important. That was preached in my household because, like, my mom was a teacher, but how just reading and learning new things, especially for entrepreneurs, a lot of us may not have the time to read. So I wanted to create a space, a judgment-free space, whether you're a reader or not, that you can come to and we can read the books together. So we meet every second Sunday via Zoom at 6 o'clock to discuss the book for the month. So currently we are reading Atomic Habits. And on March 8th, we will have a discussion about that book. So, like I said, whether you read the book or not, I tell everyone just, show up because the discussion it's about real world things that are happening. So now it's not like a book exam, like back in school you have to read a book and then you have a book report. It's not like that. It's just basically taking what we read and relating it to our lives.
Okay, you froze up on us for a minute.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, so the book that you are reading is called Atomic Habits. I'm going to try to show that here. Atomic Habits. Who's the author? Who is the author?
I believe James Clear. I believe that's his name, James Clear. I believe you froze. Yeah, you froze for a minute. I'm sorry.
Okay, so what I was asking was the author of the book. Who is the author of the book in case somebody wants to participate?
I believe his name is James Clear. Did you hear me?
I may have to say it again. I'm not
James Clear.
Not sure if the audience heard you, but I did. Oh, James Clear. James Clear. Okay.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And it's actually a really good book.
So if someone wanted to participate, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm saying it's just a really good book. It's about breaking out our old bad habits and creating better habits, from little things about from keeping your room clean, making your bed, maybe changing your diet, to doing things that would advance your career. So it shows you ways to create better habits.
Okay, and so is there a connection at all between the book club and your nonprofit, or are these two separate?
No, it's the
endeavors
same.
of yours?
No, it's the same thing. It's part of the nonprofit. Like I said, we offer education. So this will fall under the education side because all the books we read, I before we pick the books, we find books that will help people that are entrepreneurs. So, for example, the book before we read, The Alchemist. We read, I have these books in my office. We read We Should All Be Millionaires. So it's several different books we read. Shonda Rhimes, The Year of Yes. All these books, they have the same type of story, basically you bettering yourself. You're breaking out of bad routines and creating a better, better routines and habits.
So I'm putting up your logo again so that people are able to find you. If you go to Facebook and, and type in Beautifully Owned by Us, they will be able to see your Facebook page, Owned by Us book club as well. So she's very easy to find on Facebook. If you want to join the book club is actually a Facebook group, correct?
Yes.
So if you type in Beautifully Owned by Us book club, you will be able to find the group and join the group. And then you will be able to take part in the discussions as well as be updated about what new books you're reading and when the book clubs actually meet to talk about the books. What was the best book that you've read so far, in your opinion?
Shonda Rhimes, The Year of Yes. That was our first book we read as a club, and that was definitely very empowering. She's a wonderful person. She's the type of person when you read the book, you feel like you know her.
What were some of the takeaways from the book? And how do these books actually help to develop the people in the group? So most of these people in the group are entrepreneurs or nonprofit leaders, correct? They're in business or trying to grow a business.
Yes, most of the people.
So the book club in itself is somewhat of the book club is kind of a networking event in and of itself, correct?
Yes. All the books that we read, they're always like self-developing. With Shonda, excuse me, Shonda Rhimes' book, The Year of Yes, she talks about how she always said no to everything. It was a lot of opportunities she missed, and she has to basically change her mindset. And she dedicated an entire year for whatever happens. She was going to say yes. Did I freeze again?
Okay. I'm always waiting a little to make sure that I heard everything that you said because of the delay. And this talk. So what are some of the things that you've experienced within your nonprofit that you wish you would have been warned about? You wish that someone would have told you about this particular challenge beforehand?
I think the biggest thing that took me by surprise is getting the support from donors. I thought, when you create something, you like, oh, this is such a wonderful idea. Everybody would want to support it, So you would think that you put your information out there, you receive donations, and you'd be able to fund out things that you want to do. But unfortunately, it's not like that. A lot of things that we do, of course, right now is coming out of our own funds. So that was a big one. I was like, wow, okay. You would think the donations would just pour in, but in reality, it's not like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's kind of a shocker to a lot of people. There's definitely a method to obtaining funding that is a little bit more than just having a good idea, right?
Right.
So it's something that is not necessarily second. You do have to know how to speak. Yeah. It's not so much what you do, but how you can convey it and what you can prove, and outcomes and impact, and being able to know what how to articulate what it is that you're doing and how it impacting people. So that is a skill in and of itself. How what you're doing is impacting people and changing the world is another type of skill. And so I think that that's a part that a lot of people don't know that they have to pay attention to, is the communication of it, the evidence being up, that what it is they're doing is worth funding, is worth paying attention to, and is beneficial to society.
Right.
You might know in your heart that it is, but being able to articulate it and providing the evidence is another, that next stage.
I agree 100%.
Do you think, is what I'm saying the same thing that you've been experiencing?
Yes, most definitely.
We have another comment coming in. Let's see. The Higher Learning TV show says, okay, so this is Zelda, also one of our Female Solution podcasters. Habits formed in youth can develop into lifelong behaviors that help or hinder. Thanks for sharing.
Yes, I definitely agree with that. We were taught so many things.
Yeah, that's why I'm looking forward to Ramadan starts on the 17th. And that's one of the times that we focus on changing habits. Yeah, changing our habits. What if we've gone astray a little bit? This is the time where we focus. Fasting helps with that. underestimate the power of fasting and prayer. But, fasting gives you clarity. It's not just about health, it gives you clarity. It also teaches you discipline, because if you can abstain from food, and the two most or hot the two strongest desires that humans have is sex and food. If you can abstain from those things, then you can abstain from anything. So if that discipline spills aspects of your life. So yeah, fasting is very powerful, and it's a time that a lot of Muslims shed any bad habits that they've, picked up, because that is, that's when you're the strongest. A lot of people, you're the weakest because you're not eating, but actually that's when you're the strongest. So that's my little run. But yeah, since we're talking about habits, that's definitely one way to get rid of bad habits, is to increase your discipline through fasting.
Right.
Yeah. Was that in the book?
No. No.
Was
I have
was
heard
that the Atomic Habits book?
No, he didn't. No. But I have heard that, and I truly believe that.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the last thing you said. I definitely want to hear it.
No, I just said it's not in the book, but I have heard that, and I truly believe that.
Yeah. I'm gonna probably have to have you back on when we're not having so many technical difficulties. I feel like people are gems that are being dropped. I don't know. It could be me not hearing it. Maybe the audience is hearing more than what I can hear.
Well, I'm already. Anytime you want to have me on, I'm here.
On the page, you have, okay. I'm definitely, because we do experience some delays here and there, but this is a little bit extreme, right? This is a little bit extreme. It's not usually this bad. I definitely probably will have you back, maybe in a panel discussion or something like that, because that's something that I want to start doing periodically, is having the founders on to talk about specific issues. So I definitely want to have you back, maybe in that type of capacity. But before we go, I do want to let our audience know that you, on your Facebook page, you have been doing tribute to pioneers in the health and wellness, mental health, and healthcare, like beauty, wellness, mental health, and healthcare fields. African pioneers, you've been every day highlighting a different African American pioneer for Black history. So I did want to let our audience know about that and share some of the pioneers that you have highlighted. So I'm going to take a moment before we in the broadcast to show that. Did you want to say something about it before I show the video?
I'm just going to say that I love history. I used to teach history for like 10 years. So anytime I can educate people, especially on Black history, I try my best to do that.
All right, awesome. I love it. So I'm going to show you some of the pioneers because I learned a lot looking at these. That's not sometimes there are certain African American historical figures that we hear about all the time. Mainly those that were activists or did something like in the civil rights movement and things like that. So we don't always hear about pioneers in specific fields, right? If they weren't tied to a particular movement. So I learned a lot by looking at some of these highlights that you have put together. So I'm going to share with the audience so that you can learn too.
That was great.
I love it. I love it. I'm showing your website. Do you have a donation button on your website? I didn't check to see that, but is this on your website? Is there a place where people can go and donate or contact you and to partner with you? Some of the things that you were talking about, like providing resources, financial resources to businesses, up and coming businesses in the health, wellness, mental health fields.
Yes. If you go to the website, you can, it's a form where you can become a mentor. It's also, of course, the donation form on there. Sponsorship, any of the new events that's upcoming. So if you go to the website, you'll be able to access everything about Beautifully Owned by us. And it's a .org. So if you're going to go, it's beautifullyOwnedbyUs.org.
Okay, awesome. And before we go, I did want to also let our audience know that if you want to advertise on any of the female solution broadcasts, we have programming every day, twice a day, Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., as well as on the weekends at 12 o'clock. So you can actually go to thefemalesolution.com/advertising and look at our packages if you would like to advertise on our show. It's a large audience reach. Again, we have programming every single day, 7 days out of the week. And there's a lot of exposure. So check it out. Look at the website, look at the packages, and we would love to have you share your knowledge, share what you have to offer on a platform. So is there any final words before we're coming to the end of our broadcast? Are there any final words that you have for our audience?
Yes. Well, if you're thinking about creating a nonprofit, if you have an idea or you have a vision, it may be hard at first, but continue. Don't give up because it will finally form. And you know, you can see your vision come to reality.
And one other thing, you when you're providing resources to businesses in this field, it's not just in Texas, correct? Is it nationwide, or are you focused more on the businesses in Texas? What is your service area?
It's nationwide, not just Texas, all throughout the United States.
Okay. All right. Well, there you have it. So with that said, we're going to hear final words from the Female Solution. And you guys have a great day. Mm-hmm.
We've come to the end of our show today. If you missed any broadcasts, go to our website for the audio and video archives at www.thefemalesolution.com. On behalf of our team of radio hosts, I'd like to thank all of you who participated in today's discussions. And to our global family joining us from all around the world, we say thank you. To our family in China, xie xie. India, dhanyavad. Japan, arigato. Korea, kamsamnida. Russia, spasiba. Germany, danke. Poland, dziękuję. France, merci. Spain, gracias. Italy, grazie. Egypt, shukran. Ghana, madasi. Nigeria, eshe. South Africa, ngiyabonga. Senegal, jaref. Kenya, asante. Israel, toda. Pakistan, shukriya. Afghanistan, tashakur. Saudi Arabia and Palestine, shukran. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Thank you, and may peace be upon you and the mercy of God and God's blessings.